Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. Raphael Varane to Manchester United is basically officially a done deal because Manchester United have come out and announced at 7 p.m. today UK time that Raphael Varane Manchester United is delighted to announce the club has reached agreement with Real Madrid for the transfer of French international defender World Cup winner Raphael Varane, subject to a medical and player terms being finalised. That is an official announcement from Manchester United coming in tonight. Of course, we've got the pictures and the shirt and all that jazz. But when Manchester United announced that they've officially signed Raphael Varane pending a medical, that means Manchester United have signed Varane. And look, I think we know in the modern world that here we go is the moment where you get excited, and we had that yesterday. But the club following it up quite quickly. And the way it's going, maybe we get that medical done by Friday and it's another Friday announcement. Let's hope and see that that is the case. We will be talking about a few other things in a moment, but also let's just fly straight into this. So Raphael Varane is officially a Manchester United player, and this is coming from Manchester United. They've confirmed that they've reached agreement with Real Madrid to sign World Cup winning French defender Raphael Varane. Understood that the clubs have agreed an initial fee of £34 million, which could rise to £42 million with add-ons. It's nothing. It's nothing. It is barely a ripple in United's finances to buy a player of that quality for that. I mean, effectively, we are getting Raphael Varane for half of the price of Harry Maguire. And that has got nothing to do with Harry Maguire. I don't want that to be the point here. That's got nothing to do with Harry Maguire, apart from the fact that's what we paid for Harry Maguire. But we are getting one of the world's best centre-backs in the world. That's why he's one of the world's best centre-backs. For under 40 million quid. 42 million is based on add-ons. You know, that'll be based on appearances and other things. At the moment, it's 34 million pounds for Raphael Varane, which is a fantastic deal for Manchester United. And I'm not blowing wind up the backside of the board. You know, they got applauded yesterday. Go back to work now. But I am going to say that from a fan perspective, very, very good signing. Mark, we've already got Sancho and Varane done, and the window is still open more than a month. We are getting our business done early. Crazy, says YUFC. Well, announce Varane, says Tom Curtis. Look, let me just stick with Varane for a minute, because I'll talk about what comes next, because I still think there's a lot of things to be done next. But yeah, I'm very happy that we've got this done very, very quickly, in the context of we could have dragged this out for a couple of more weeks easily. We're still basically 2.5 weeks away from the start of that first game against Leeds. He's going to be in Manchester probably now, probably tomorrow, medical, some point over the next 5 days, training with the team early next week. Bada bing, bada boom, let's move. Let's move on to the next problem. Joshua Bellwater says, Varane's going to want 4. Surely this means the end of the man, the myth, the legend, Sir Phil Jones. He deserves his testimonial. Deal of the decade, Mark, says Mouse. I wouldn't want to get into that, whether it's deal of the decade. But look, just to add a little bit context to this story as well, it's been officially announced by Manchester United that they've agreed a deal to sign Raphael Varane from Real Madrid. That it will be a deal that goes through till 2026, that it's £34 million with add-ons that could take it to £42 million. His wage is not expected to be excessive. It's going to be somewhere between £200,000 and £250,000 a week, which is, not one of our biggest earners actually. And interestingly, he's 28 years of age. He's made 360 appearances for Real Madrid after arriving from Lens in 2011. So a 10-year career, multiple. I mean, look, this is something I do want to do, which, I don't normally do this, but we don't normally buy a player of this magnitude, of this sort of, pedigree. And it's absolutely amazing what he's done in his career. If you look at his honours, La Liga, he's won it 3 times, 2012, 2017, 2020. So he's won it 3 times. Copa del Rey, Champions League, he's won it 4 times. He's a 4 times Champions League winner, 2014, 2016, 2017 and 2018. So he's a 4 times Champions League winner. He's also, I didn't know they won it 4 years in a row. No, they didn't. They won it 3 years in a row and there was a gap. Super Cup winner 3 times and World Cup winner as well, 2018. So 4 times Champions League winner, 3 times La Liga winner and 1 time World Cup winner. Individual awards, he's been in the World FIFA Pro World 11, he's been UEFA Team of the Year, all those sort of things. Fantastic pedigree player. It's just very exciting. I thought he'd only won the Champions League 3 times. He's won the Champions League 4 times. He's won it more times than Manchester United. Fantastic. United are moving faster than they have in 20 years and doing good deals. What's happening? I'm in a coma. CDM and the Glazers whitewash might work. Well, that's what it is, Loz. Of course, it is that sort of a deal. It is the Glazers are here to basically convince us that they're right. Not convince us they're right. That this is guilt money, as I said before. We literally got Sancho and Varane for 115 million euros, 5 million less than Sancho last year. What happened, Mark, says Matthias? I don't want to go down that road. I'm sorry. If you want to go down that road, I'll pack you bags. I'll even give you some sandwiches and a bottle of pop. But I'm not going down that road. You're on your own. Whoever's off down that road, you walk away and you enjoy that. But I'm not going to start bigging that up. We got Sancho and Varane for less than we would have paid for him a year ago. That's based... You're becoming a businessman. You're becoming a bank person. I'm a football man. I support football. I want a football team. We should have got Sancho in last year and a centre-back. We finished second, okay. But look, I ain't never going to... Let the news outlets do that. Let United do that. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to go, yay, we've got Sancho and Varane for less than we would have paid for Sancho a year ago. What are you, a bank manager? I'm a football club. Manchester United's a football club. I don't agree with, let's wait a year to get the players that we want. I don't think Man City do that. I don't think Chelsea do that. I think you've got to be better than that. So, if you enjoy that sort of thing, that's up to you. Right, when I felt proud of our business, speed, Chelsea going to sign Koundé in like 2 days. All that matters are the good deals now, that says Jack Edwards. Hey, yeah, it's a good point, Chelsea were linked with United 2 days ago, yesterday. Then he's about to sign for Chelsea, which is very, very fast. But look, there's no need to... start looking at others. We know what we need to do. Yeah.
I think Mummy pretending.
I know, I do as well. Where's Madeline? Because she's meant to be sat with you. I'm working at the moment. So you go and get her for me, please. Seb just coming in for a little bit of a cameo. But yeah, it is. Manchester United have done good business. Varane and Sancho is good business. But as I said on social media before, this afternoon, Chelsea want Rice and Chelsea want Koundé. We've got Sancho and we've got Varane. You could argue that Sancho and Varane are better than Rice and Koundé, and I would agree with that. But I'm not knocking Chelsea's business, and they want a striker as well. So if Chelsea get Koundé, Rice and a striker, and we only get Sancho and Varane and we lose Pogba, we've had a worse window than Chelsea, and they're the Champions League winners. So context is key here. This is exciting to get Raphael Varane. I applauded it yesterday. He's a tier 1, number 1 target for Manchester United. And that is fantastic. It really, really is. But remember, Chelsea won the Champions League, played better football than us from January to the summer. And if they get Rice, Koundé and a good top striker, and we only get Varane and Sancho and lose Pogba, we've had a worse window. So I just think you've got to be progressive. This is what I don't like. I don't like it when our fan base starts going, woohoo, woohoo, Ed Woodward walking in like a boss. And I'm like, well, is he walking in like a boss? Because Varane and Sancho's not better than the business that Chelsea could do. Man City could go and get Grealish and Kane to add to the players that they've already got to go. I think this is a fantastic start, and I think there's a lot of excitement and there's a lot of encouragement. But let's not forget, we need a holding midfielder. That's what we've got to get. That's what I think we'll get. But we've got to go and get it. But as I said, Varane, what a deal. And if you're joining in us a little bit late, make sure you smash a like on the video. Let's see if we can get 10,000 likes on the video for Varane, because he is a Manchester United player. Raphael Varane signs for Manchester United. Pending the medical and the official documentation, Manchester United have announced that the agreement has been made with Real Madrid. Obviously, we know the personal terms with Varane are done. The agreement there is with Real Madrid. It's really about the medical now, whenever that happens. And I think it could happen on Friday. Maybe it'll be the start of next week. We've got to be careful about the COVID regulations, etc., etc. But I think it'll be done by Friday, and then we can start to look at... I think he'll be in Manchester tomorrow to do the medical, if he's allowed to do it. And I think he'll get the number 4 shirt. I think he'll be 4. Maguire will be 5. And I think that's what will happen. I mean, look, I may as well roll this show into the 8 o'clock show. Tyler, welcome to the United Stand Members Club. Hope you're doing well. Sancho and Varane cheaper than Pepe and Ben White, says Ross Quinn. Yes, look, I'm not going to be that person. I think that one thing we've learned is humility over the last 8 years. We've not been anywhere near a title. I'm not going to start shouting from the rooftops, because the video I did this afternoon I think is really interesting if you've not watched it. It's about Varane and how he can help us win the title or make us be title contenders. I think those things need to happen. Solskjaer's got to deliver on the pitch now. He's got the tools. It's like, I think Solskjaer, maybe in his time at United, if you're playing a game of chess against Pep or Klopp, they've got all their pieces in place. When Solskjaer's been playing, he might be missing a castle or a bishop or the queen, Now he's got all his pieces in place. Now it's time to go to work. Neves next, hopefully. Yeah, Leo, can I just say about Neves? Absolutely bullshit. Whatever that story was about Neves this afternoon. This is what clickbait's all about, isn't it? People say United Stand's clickbait. United Stand is always a title based on something in the news, and most of the time it will be to do with something that is actually credible. This afternoon I was live talking about Varane, and I was being told Manchester United are in for Ruben Neves. Well, Fabrizio Romano this afternoon has confirmed that Manchester United are not in for Ruben Neves. Everything is very quiet on that front. We've got no idea who Manchester United are looking for as a midfielder at the moment, but I'm sure, very, very sure, that very, very soon we will find out what's happening with the midfield situation. So looking forward to see what's going to happen with that. Let me have a look. Okay, what's going on in the chat? So Raphael Varane has officially been announced as a Manchester United player. Glad to finally be a part, Mark. Trippier in a DM, and we're winning the lot next season, says Tyler. Thank you very much, Tyler. Jim White. I thought he said Jimmy White. Breaking news. I was going to say, what's happened to Jimmy White? I like my snooker. Jim White. Sky Sports News. He can't be on Sky. They won't be announcing this for a couple of weeks. Slow Sports News. But Jim White, Sky Sports News. Manchester United have announced this. I've done rubbish there. Pogba, Bruno, Donny. We already have the midfield, says Shane. Idiot, idiot, idiot. Shane is an idiot. What are you talking about, Shane? We've already got a midfield. You're an idiot, Shane. Bloody hell, Shane. Are you pissed? Pogba, Bruno and Donny is a midfield three. Have you never watched football before? It ain't FIFA, mate. This is real life. Pressure on Ollie now that we've made these signings, says Mannix. You've always got to have pressure. Feed the pressure. You've got to have pressure. James Garner has done so well on loan. He needs real United experience. Why not now? Oh my God, here they come. Thanks for the super chat, Kaylin. We won't dwell on that one. So we're going to play James Garner there now. Absolutely. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Swap either Bay or Lindelof for Koundé, says Gustav. And I honestly wouldn't mind if we don't sign a DM with Maguire and Varane. I think we can play with Fred and Pogba, says Chris. Well, it'd be McTominay, mate. That's the problem. Manchester United will allow Phil Jones to leave for free if a club wants him. Manchester Evening News reports. This is just music to our ears. Best news ever, says Mario Franco. And yeah, the reason we are live, everybody, is that Manchester United at 7 p.m. tonight have announced that Raphael Varane will be joining Manchester United after they agreed terms with Real Madrid. Now we're waiting for the medical. I've seen the Rashford tweet. I don't really know what's so funny about it. He's just replying to a tweet saying we. I mean, if that's the sort of thing that is funny now, then crack on. Manchester United, we've done that one. And what else? Camavinga, if we sign him, I think we're sorted, says God of Sandwich. Mark, if you were Ali, what would you do with McFred? Says H. I wouldn't play them both. Mark, to clear up, I am the last to the greedy bankers off the hook. Just got no idea how they pulled two great deals, but not really not like them. But Matthias, I mean, look, I don't want to be a party pooper here, but I do just think that some of our fan base have just, almost goldfish. Like, you've forgotten the last 16 years. You've forgotten the last 16 weeks, what these owners tried to do. We won the World Cup. No, we didn't win the World Cup. We won the European Cup in 1968, 10 years after the Munich tragedy. The European Cup is massive to this club, and these owners basically tried to take us out of that European Cup to feather their own nest and make money. That's what the Super League was all about. This summer, to me, it's been good, but I'm not going to forget what these owners have done to this club, and neither's any real United fan. So and Jadon Sancho should have happened last year. Like, it's a good signing, but it should have happened last year. For me, we've bought Raphael Varane this summer. Sancho should have happened last year. This is guilt money from the Glazers because they shit themselves at the end of last season because of what fans did around protests and getting games cancelled. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh yeah, everything's great, because I don't trust them. I don't know why anybody does trust them. I think Manchester United is run by people who are very manipulative, who just don't have the best interests of the football club or the fans at heart and say the right things. And until they prove that, I'm not going to change my mind. And I don't think a lot of people will. I will say Varane is a fantastic signing, and it is. But these should be happening every single summer. And it hasn't happened every summer. And will it happen next summer? I don't know. I think we've just got to be very, very careful before we start high-fiving the board and saying what a great job they've done. Because I tell you what, they'll be sat reading that going, we've done it. We've done it. How have we turned this around? 16 weeks ago, they were going to force us out of the club. Now we're sat in a situation where, you know, they want to build statues of us. And I think, you know, as I said, you know, without being too melodramatic, I don't want to talk about the Super League or anything like that. It's been done. But I said it at the start of the summer, and I'll say it right now. This summer is about a midfielder for me. Varane is the best we can get. Sancho's the best we can get. But the midfielder was always the priority for me. Koundé linked to Chelsea, Kane and Grealish to City, slapped me reality check. I was so gassed about Sancho and Varane, but we still have some way to go. And I agree with you on that, Sheikh. We've got to keep going. Even the centre-back was last summer, says Shravan. Look, I don't want this to not be a happy video, because it is. But I do think some of our fan base just get a little bit giddy at times and start saying, what a summer! What a summer! What a summer! And as I said, you know, would an FA Cup be enough? No. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. As I said, if Man City go and get Grealish and Kane, and Chelsea go and get Rice, Koundé and a striker, and we just get Varane and Sancho, you could argue that they've had better summers than us. So we've got to keep going. We've got to keep going, and we do need to get a centre defensive midfielder. And I think if we don't do that, then effectively, you know, it's been a very good summer, but it's not been the summer that it needs to be. We need to do much, much more than that. What else? Let's have a quick look. So Varane to Manchester United is officially done. We're back live again at 8 o'clock, people. We've got an 8 o'clock show for you. So I just wanted to announce the deal there. Opinion on the concept of Souček as the CDM regard. Do we just go? Do we start again at 8 or do we just stay? I don't know what we do here. I don't know what we do. It's sort of a 7 o'clock signing. United have probably done that on purpose because they know we've got the 8 o'clock show. Opinion on the concept of Souček as the CDM, regardless if possible or not. Says captain, but he's not a CDM for a start. Hi Mark, with the price of Basuma at 35 mil or so, why hasn't anyone, especially United, placed a bid for him? He could play CDM for United, says Grant Fisher. Question for the forum, have the Glazers made up for the Super League fiasco, says Sam. Well, I would hope that they haven't. I am delighted, as I remember Sir Alex Ferguson trying to bring him here, but not oblivious. All pressure on the Glazers now, says Shravan. And hey Mark, have you heard any news on how much influence Murta has had on the signings? Either way, happy so far. Agree with you on the CDM, says Jordan. We're just going to stay live. I can bring the 8 o'clock show into this show. So basically what we're going to be talking about is 8 players up for sale. Bailly wants out. Tellez injury. A little bit about Koundé. Twansebi contract. Donny and Delo. So we'll move seamlessly into that. So we'll stay live. Thanks everyone. Thanks for that. Make sure you smash a like on the video then. We're just going to carry on. That's what we're going to do. Just going back to some of those questions. Yeah, Souček's not a holding midfielder. And people will say, well, neither's Camavinga, neither's Goretzka, but Souček's not a holding midfielder in the same way that Declan Rice is. Souček would play the Pogba role. He gets in the box. You know, he's not going to sit. That's not his job. So Souček also isn't a player that Manchester United are linked to. So there you go. Smash a like on the video then, and please share the video. Let's stay live and carry on. So Raphael Varane to Manchester United is officially done. To a certain extent, the medical's not done and he's not holding up the shirt. So I suppose that's the official done, but Manchester United have announced it. I believe we did this with Sancho. Yes, we did. We did it with Lindelof. So Manchester United basically have got in the habit of sort of doing the double dip, really. You get the here we go, then you get United saying that it's done pending a medical, and then we'll get the medical and the pictures done. So it's almost... Transfers, certainly for United, I don't know whether what it's like at other clubs, but they have become very, very elongated, haven't they? Hey Mark, I've done that one. Right, let's have a quick look at what's going on the socials before we move on to the things I want to talk about. Can we please... So Marcus Rashford says, can we please stop spanning my pipes now? We have agreed a deal. I mean, you know, some people will just laugh at anything, I suppose. Hilarious from Rashford, that is. Wee. Raphael Varane will be in England later this week. Then after quarantine period, he'll undergo his medical and sign his contract until June 2025 with the option for another year. United will pay 50 million euros to Real Madrid, details included. So he's going to be later this week, and then after quarantine, he's got to go through quarantine before he can do his medical, I suppose, because that's the sort of thing. That's the sort of thing there that matters. There we go. So yeah, somebody just wanted to check on that for Romano. And I don't think Manchester United's summer business is over by any chance as well. 4 Champions Leagues for Varane. Yeah, that's news to me tonight. 4 Champions Leagues for Varane. I'm getting a bit hot. I might have to take my t-shirt off. I might have to take my jumper off. 1 minute. I'm just going to take it off. I'll tell you what, this Varane news is so hot. I'm going to have to take my jumper off. It's too hot. It's too hot. This news is too hot. Let me just disappear and do this. It's a quick change for Goldbridge. Oh, so hot, everybody. It's boiling. It's boiling in here. We've got to come back. Here we go. There we go. We're back. I was just getting too hot in that jumper. That deal was just too hot for me. I had to get it off. There we go. So yeah, Raphael Varane to Manchester United. Announcement tonight at 7 o'clock by Manchester United. They've got that deal done. Let's hope they go and get a midfielder next as well. And look, they're going to have to clear the deadwood to do that. A gritty CDM and a quality backup fullback to take the pressure off Aaron Wan-Bissaka, says D3. I can't get my words out. Why don't people on YouTube pick decent names? Why do you have to be like D34MP or all that? You know, it's hard for me to get my words out. It's my 3rd stream of the day. You know, I'm just going to pick out the easy names like George Kyle, who says hi Kobe. Okay, so let's move on. Raphael Varane is done to Manchester United, pending the medical and the holding up of the shirt, which probably is going to be next week by the sounds of it now. Ideal CDM. I'll get into some of those questions, but what I want to start off this second part of the show with, and make sure you smash a like on the video. What I want to start off the second part of the show with is by talking about what I was going to be talking on the 8 o'clock show. So we've sort of moved it forward because of this Varane announcement. So this second part is going to be the latest news. Some good news here. I'm going to start off with the most positive news. Donny van der Beek and Diego Dalot will play tomorrow night against Brentford. Cash back. Yes, he will play because they have been in training for last week. I don't know about Anthony Martial. There was no update on Martial. But Van der Beek was training last week with Martial at Carrington when the Manchester United squad was training down in Surrey. Dalot and Van der Beek will play tomorrow. They'll be subs, but they'll come on for the game against Brentford, which is great news. You know, it's great. Henderson will miss out and Bruno will miss out, even though they're back in training. They won't play. I don't know what's happening with Martial. But bad news, Alex Telles will miss the first 3 games of the season. He will not return to action now until mid-September after the international break. So I worry a little bit about this because Brandon Williams needs to go on loan. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer deprived Brandon Williams of a loan in January to keep him as a backup. Now, Brandon Williams, he's got to be let go on loan this summer. It's got to happen. But the Telles thing is very disappointing because Telles really should have been playing all these pre-season games. Luke Shaw's not going to be back. He won't be back. Who's going to play at left back? So that is disappointing. Mark, we have a balanced partnership in first team and backup centre-back Magaran and Bailiff. Pace and ball playing good on the ball centre-back, says Chris. Pace? What are you talking? I tell you what, are people drinking some silly water tonight? We're getting all sorts of stuff. We're getting play Donny, Pogba and Bruno as a midfield 3. We're getting play McFred. Now we're getting that Lindelof and Maguire are fast. Maguire's not slow, but he's not fast. And Lindelof's not fast. We haven't got a balanced backup centre-back pairing at all. Eric Bay's quick and Varane is quick. Mark, what's your ideal and practical additions after Varane? Not dream signing, but more practical, says Shravan. I do say this, and look, I do say this totally and honestly, we are not going to get a holding midfielder of the quality of Sancho and Varane. We're not going to go and get Kimmich. We're not going to go and get Ndidi. We're not going to go and get somebody like that. I think with Varane, you've gone and got the best centre-back you could get. Like, it's not even... You know, the way transfers work, you normally end up getting a player like Bruno that's at a smaller club ready to move, or you end up getting a player like Thiago Silva that's coming towards the end of the career, or Sergio Ramos that wants to move, or you end up getting a player like a Jules Koundé who is at the start of their career young and potential and looking to take the step up. You very rarely go and get one of the world's best centre-back who is 28. So Manchester United have gone and got the best they can get. It's a massive deal. A massive deal. And as I said, this sort of deal, can you think of a comparable deal to this? Yeah, we're benefiting from the fact that his contract's only got a year left on it. But, I mean, this would be like Van Dijk going to Real Madrid. That's what sort. I mean, a fit Van Dijk. That's what it's like. It's a massive deal for United to do with Varane. Sancho, again, very good deal. We're not going to get a midfielder like that. To get a midfielder like that would be a Kimmich. To get a midfielder like that would be a Verratti or something like that. A really world-class holding midfielder. We're not going to do that. I think there's going to be an element of risk. And it's a little bit like, you know, when you go down the shop and you're picking your meal deal for the night and you're looking at, that's a nice microwavable lasagna or macaroni cheese or a chili. Maybe even a beef stroganoff. Maybe a vegetarian lasagna. But, you know, you get the vegetarian lasagna, you whack it in the microwave, it's very nice, and you think, I wish I'd had the chili. So United are going to have to take a bit of a risk on the midfielder they go for. Whether it's Goretzka, Camavinga, Ruben Neves, Saul Niguez, Basuma, or anybody else, they're not going to be of the quality of a Varane or a Sancho. So there's an element of risk there. So I think you've got every right to pick whoever you want. Hey Mark, thanks for the awesome updates, mate. So excited about Varane, says Matthew Carter. Thank you very much, Matthew. Bets United says happy with Varane. Won't happen, but Ndidi would be the last piece in the jigsaw and we'd win the league, says Bets United. Sancho and Varane, some transfer window. This one, quality CDM and we're challenging for the title, says Vishal. Chris says, Mark, you're getting me wrong. I said they're pace in both partnerships. Sorry, Chris, you have clarified. Well done there. You're right. There is pace in both those backup partnerships. I'm not going to, maybe I'm going to be the moody uncle here. Uncle Moody Goldbridge, because I'm not bigging up this transfer window. No, I'm not. Call me miserable. Call me what you want. I'll call it real, because I'm not bigging up this window. I'm not, because the minute you start bigging it up is the minute the bank account closes. It's the minute the Glazers go, send. We've changed. Ed Woodward rings up the Glazers. I can't get into the online banking. Yeah, we've changed the password. We'll speak to you next year. The minute we start going, this is great, this is brilliant, this is super, then is the minute that Manchester United will shut up shop and go, that's it. My big fear is this. My big fear is this, that Manchester United will look at what we've done. They'll look at what the fans are doing, and they'll go, that's it. That's it. We've got the fans back on side. They're not going to get games cancelled. They're not going to protest. And can I just say on that, up until it could still happen, but certainly 2-3 weeks ago, there was still talk of fans trying to get games cancelled and protests. So for the Glazers, it's just about getting to that point where they can get back to where they were a year ago, where people don't like them, but they don't cause them any problems. And that's my fear, is that now they've got rid of that. So they'll just go, that's it for the next few years. We're not going to do it again. Simon Stone has tweeted about it. BBC journalist on Varane deal, 4 years with option of a further year. Player and family require visas to get to the UK. Then they'll have quarantine once he's here before the medical. So probably looking like next week. And on further signings at Manchester United this summer, almost certainly depend on sales. So Manchester United to buy further players are going to have to sell players, which leads it lovely into what I was going to talk about on the 8 o'clock, which I can talk about now. Apparently Simon Stone has said that further signings for Manchester United this summer will almost certainly depend on sales. ESPN this morning were talking about a summer clear out. Manchester United looking at selling players. We'll go through some of those players in a moment. Sit down, British journalist, can't remember his name, who said the Varane deal was not moving as fast as it was, says Julian S. And wasn't Sancho meant to be from last year's budget? Wouldn't that mean we only spent 40 million on Varane this year and we have to sell to buy now, says Gordon Murray. Good point. I just want to say that's a good point as well. We do have to listen to this quite a lot. And it was only the weekend, it was only the end of last week where we were getting information that Manchester United haven't even spoken to. I'm not going to name the journalists because I think they've been briefed by Manchester United sources of some kind, whether it's official sources or leaks from the dressing room or coaches. But it was less than a week ago. It was the back end of last week and at the weekend when we were being told by some UK journalists that Manchester United hadn't even spoken to Real Madrid and that personal terms with Raphael Varane had not been completed. And that was last Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday from numerous UK journalists. Today is Tuesday. Yesterday was Monday. Yesterday we had, here we go. Today we've had the club confirming the deal. What a load of rubbish. This is why you've got to be very careful on future transfer deals. We've spoken to Romano, as you know, he's been on the show. There's a couple of other people I've been speaking to. They've consistently said for over 2 weeks that Manchester United and Raphael Varane have got no issue with personal terms. The hold-up is dealing with Real Madrid. And that's what we've been doing for at least a week. But at the back end of last week and over the weekend, we were being told by UK journalists United haven't even spoken to Real Madrid yet. From good sources, we've not spoken to Real Madrid and we're still sorting out personal terms. And that was a load of crap. That was a load of crap. Because to believe that, you'd have to believe United picked up the phone on Monday morning and went, well, 40 million euro, 34 million do? Cheers, we'll do it. No way. No way. Real Madrid wanted £50 million. They've ended up getting £34 million. We've been working on this deal for at least a week with Real Madrid. So it just goes to show you that some outlets, and it always gets forgotten. It always gets forgotten when the deal's done because everybody's happy. But we have learnt, again, just like Jadon Sancho a year ago, when Fabrizio Romano said at the start of August, personal terms with Sancho are done, and you had a lot of UK journalists going, no, they're not, no, they're not, no, they're not, no, they're not. And then they had to backtrack and say, yes, they are. And a few of them have got it wrong here. And what those journalists needs to do is, whoever your sources are, whether it's official sources from the club or not, just think you might be being played a bit. They might be using you to slow down the excitement a little bit. I don't know. But some of them got it wrong. If we sell Mata, Jones, Pereira, Matic, Lingard and buy Camavinga in a proper CDM, that would be a good window. Jack, I don't think that'll happen. Mark, Varane is the first choice signing, I think, since Van Persie. Also, only Ronaldo has more Champions Leagues than Varane. 4, a good CDM should make the dish delicious, says Amit. Well, let me just say this. This is what I was going to be talking about at 8 o'clock, which we're not going to do now. But Manchester United, it's not £42.5 million, Ian. You know, it's not £42.5 million. It's £34 million with add-ons taking it up to £42.5 million. I'm not having that either. I know I'm being a little bit pedantic, but I'm not having that. Don't let people tell you it's a £42.5 million deal. We didn't buy Bruno for 60. We didn't buy Anthony Martial for 55. We bought Martial for 36. Add-ons took it to 55. We bought Bruno for 48. Add-ons will take it to 60. We've bought Varane for 34. Add-ons will take it to 42.5 million. What if Varane signs for us, never plays football again because of a bad injury? We paid 34 million for him. Touch wood, that's never going to happen, by the way. But yeah, so we paid 34 million pounds. Don't disrespect what we've paid. If Jorginho was available, would you think he'd be okay for Manchester United after the season? Carlos, I'd be all over Jorginho at Manchester United. I think he's exactly the sort of player that we need just to drop in this position where Fred is, take the ball off the back four, fullbacks are going to push forward, Pogba and Bruno can push forward, get high up the pitch. You know, a proper conductor ahead of Maguire and Varane is what we need. I like Mata, says Michael Fetty, but he's being selfish. If he's such a nice guy, then why doesn't he give up the number 8? I'd be pissed if I was Bruno, says Michael Fetty. Jobs for the boys. Anyway, let's talk about that. So there's a story this morning, I think it was in ESPN, and it was saying that Manchester United have got 8 players up for sale as Solskjaer looks to clear his squad to generate funds for a midfielder, which it looks like we're going to have to do. Simon Stone's just said it. Romano said it all summer. A couple of other things. I think the Telegraph, James Ducker said it. There is a consistent theme here that United are going to have to sell to buy. To get what I believe is the most important position, I said it at the start of the summer, my priority number 1, ahead of Sancho and Varane, I suppose, was a holding midfielder. To get one, we're going to have to sell. Now, the players that have been mentioned as generating the funds by ESPN are Jesse Lingard, Alex Telles, Andreas Pereira, Brandon Williams, Diego Dalot, Anthony Martial, Dan James, Phil Jones. I don't think that's right, but that's 8 players. That shows you the sheer amount of deadwood we've got in that squad. 8 players. I would add Matic into that, 9. I think Matic has got to be there as well. But we'll go through those players in a minute. I just wanted to drop it in. Connor Lynett says, how did you rate Varane's performances for France at the Euros? Mark, for real, I don't think Varane was at his best. I hope he's better for United. Well, Connor, I don't know what Euros you were watching. I thought Varane was the best player for France. I thought Kimpembe had a crap tournament, and I thought a few other French players did. I actually thought Varane was fantastic. In one game particularly, he was brilliant. So I thought Varane was one of France's best players in a very disappointing tournament for them. I thought he was one of their best players. Do you think there is a slight chance that Manchester United have bullied Real Madrid? Could the tide be turning back in the dominance of English clubs? Says insert name here. The thing about being a bully is I'm not a bully, and I don't like bullies, and I don't want to be a bully, and I don't know whether we have bullied Real Madrid or we haven't, but I do think you've hit on a good topic there. Real Madrid are in trouble. They were desperate for the Super League. They're still desperate for the Super League. Real Madrid and Barcelona have been architects of their own downfall, really. They're like 2 major players in a league that they didn't share the money out. I think they've got their own TV deals. They make a lot of money, but they've spent a lot of that money as well. Other club, La Liga isn't the Premier League because the distribution of funds is not the same. Real Madrid and Barcelona have retained a lot of the money because they are the 2 biggest clubs in the world, in the league. But it's been detrimental to them, and it's been detrimental to La Liga because the Premier League has become awash with money, is the best league in the world, and now teams like Manchester United, Man City and Chelsea and Liverpool and Arsenal and Spurs and others like Everton and Leicester, for different reasons, have become very powerful in the transfer market, and no other league can really live with them apart from PSG because they're funded in that way. So yeah, look, I think I was surprised at how quickly we got the Real Madrid deal done, because I remember the David De Gea fax machine. I remember them charging us 60 million for a player they didn't want to even come here in Di Maria. I remember them getting David Beckham very cheap. I don't think £80 million was enough for Ronaldo as well, to be honest with you. So I think we've always been the second-class citizen with Real Madrid in my lifetime. I don't feel that. I think there is a tide there. Whether that tide stays with us or not, getting Raphael Varane for 34 million, I mean, I'd have paid 50 for him. I would have paid 50 million for Varane. So to get him for 34, and even if it does end up being 42, still a bargain. Bring on Varane and Sancho. The more you buy, the harder you fall, says Zayn Miassi. Yeah, Ben White, mate. Ben White, that's all I'm going to say. Liverpool, on the other hand, Liverpool fans are crying for fans, but I still think they will win the league, says Afifa. I'm not going to get involved in any other club's politics, but to be honest with you, maybe Liverpool fans are paying for the price of not doing what United fans did. Your owners, as far as I know, were as much into that Super League as we were. Their owner did a video saying, sorry, who have you bought this summer? Our owners ended up, barricaded in Old Trafford, shitting themselves, and went and bought Varane and Sancho. Sometimes you've got to show your displeasure. But I don't know whether that's fair to say that about Liverpool. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But as an outsider, I felt Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal were as bad as we were. Now, Chelsea and Man City, their fans, their clubs are in a good position. Man United, our club wasn't in a good position. We protested. We made we made as a fan base. We made the owners crap themselves. Look what's happened this summer. Arsenal, I think they're going to try and do the same sort of thing. Liverpool, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? God, we were linked to 50 million for Ben Scheidt. So relieved, says Gustav. Look, you know what? When you go to bed tonight, just think you could have been waking up with Ben White. Not literally in your bed, but we liked Ben White. Be fair, we did like Ben White. I think he was 4th or 5th down the choice, but look, talking about Varane, I could talk about him all night. What a player! And people talk about this tweet that I did a year ago where I said Varane is shit. I mean, I've got no time for these idiots because on Twitter, like I am on here, I'm very reactionary. And I was talking about Man City playing Real Madrid in the Super League final, and Varane had a bad game. And I said he's shit because I didn't want Man City to win based on one game. It was just a throwaway comment. I think Varane is one of the best centre-backs in the world. But when we look at what United's targets were, let's be honest, Pau Torres was a target. Koundé was a target. Ben White was a target. So look at the players that we were looking at getting. we were looking at getting those sort of players. And typically we would do. You know, was Lindelof our first choice? I doubt it. Was Eric Bailly our first choice? I doubt it. Donny wasn't our first choice. We've bought lots of second and third choices over the years, and fourth and fifth sometimes. We've gone and got our best choice. And, you know, I'm very glad about that. I would have been worried about, I don't know about you, but I would have been worried, Tyrone Mings, I would have been worried about Pau Torres. I would have been, especially after the Euros. I mean, somebody has said to me, what did you think about Varane in the Euros? It's very difficult to judge a player on international football, but I didn't watch La Liga last year, so if people say to me Varane's fell off, I'd be like, well, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch that. I actually haven't seen a lot of Varane in the last year, to be honest with you, because even in the Champions League, he missed a couple of those games before they got knocked out. So, but I thought he looked good in the Euros, and obviously, I think everyone knows about Varane. We've been watching him play for years now. But Pau Torres for Villarreal in the final and against Arsenal and in the Euros, I didn't mind him, but he just didn't fill me with a lot of confidence. And remember, to buy Pau Torres would have to move Harry Maguire away from Luke Shaw, which for me breaks up the best left-sided combination in European football at the moment. I think Maguire and Shaw work really well. What will Ali call Varane? Well, there you go. There's your answer, Gaurav. If we had a budget of 100 million, then we have only used 57 million of that, so we don't need to sell to buy, even though we do need to get rid of some players, says Vince Kelly. Mark, these signings are great, but we need to hold the Glazers accountable. What are the plans for the stadium and Carrington, says Peter Hare. And is the worry that Varane could be past his best a valid worry, says Jerome T. Green. I tell you what, Jerome, I think that's a fantastic question. Is the worry that Varane is past his best a valid point? If I was to say to you, Raphael Varane is 28 years of age, 28 years of age, the same age as Paul Pogba, younger than Kevin De Bruyne. Are those players past their best? You get in the chat and tell me players that are 28. And he's only just 28, by the way. He's only just 28. He was only 28. She was only 28 years old. He's only just 28. He's been 28 for 2 months. He was 28 in April. So There's going to be loads of 5 years of his prime left, says George Kyle. Exactly. He ain't past his best. Look, he's not Wayne Rooney. He's not been out, on the piss and all that through his career, and not looked after his body to the best of his ability. Players can be done at 28. He's not had loads of injuries either. So I don't think that. I don't think that is. I mean, look, maybe that's a little bit fair on Wayne Rooney, but I think Wayne, by his own admission, didn't look after himself the same way that Ronaldo did. And look, there'd be pictures of Rooney in the summer drinking, smoking and stuff like that, but I don't think Varane is in that situation. Mark, I certainly don't think he's out drinking and smoking. I don't think it's part of his religion to do that, but I'm not 100% sure about that. But what I'm saying is he's not done at 28. Mark, it kills me to think we chose Lindelof over Van Dijk. Imagine where we'd be right now. Dominic, stop living in the past. Arsenal fans saying Ben White's a better value signing. Bless them, says Michael. They're stretching. I love all the abuse rival fans are giving us, saying Varane is overrated. If he wasn't good, they would be worried about the signing, says Sean Turner. And yes, Sean, how can he be overrated? How can he be overrated at 34 million quid? How can you be overrated as a four times Champions League winner? What have Real Madrid been doing? Winning Champions Leagues with a handicap? Or let's see if we can win 4 Champions Leagues with a crap French centre-back next to Ramos. Let's see how crap the centre-back can be next to Ramos and still win the Champions League. They've won Champions Leagues because they had Ronaldo in there, and they had 2 of the best centre-backs in the world, with probably the best midfield combination in the world of Casemiro, Modric and Kroos. They had one of the strongest spines the football's ever seen. Ramos and Varane, Casemiro, Modric and Kroos, and then Ronaldo and Benzema through the middle. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Let's continue this momentum going forward, says Anthony Wisdom. These are the type of signings we need to be making during all transfer windows. Yeah, please smash a like on the video if you're watching, by the way. Raphael Varane signs for Manchester United. Manchester United have announced in the last hour that Raphael Varane and Manchester United and Real Madrid have agreed a deal for him to join Manchester United. He will now complete a medical and hold up the shirt to make it official. But it is done. It is done. Let's go and get a CDM, says David DeBow. Any update on Pogba, says Karim. So yeah, I do want to just bring in here that we were talking there about players that might be up for sale. Who do you think is next for us, says Sultan. I've got no idea. I've got no idea who's going to be next. And to be honest with you, I'm probably going to drop back into being cynical Goldbridge again and say I'm not convinced we'll get anybody else. I'm worried. I think I've been very positive about the Sancho deal happening. If you've been watching all summer, I said the Sancho deal would happen way before it did, and it did. With the Varane deal, I felt very confident about that very early on. You know, I don't know why, but I did. With the midfielder, because it's the position I want the most. This was the position I wanted the most at the summer. This was the position that I said will define whether it's a good or a great transfer window. I want a holding midfielder. I really want a holding midfielder, and I want Pogba to stay. So I'm reticent to get excited about this. How hungry for success will Varane be? Very hungry. That's what his whole career is about. Phil Jones for CDM, says Seth. He's on the pop. Renate's there with the super sticker. Mark, look, I'm happy about Varane, don't get me wrong, but couldn't we have got Koundé instead? Much younger and cheaper, so much more potential. Thoughts? He's not cheaper. How much Chelsea won't get Koundé for less than 50 million, I don't think. He's not going to be cheaper. No, I'm happy. Look, I really like Koundé. I think if Chelsea get Koundé, which it looks like they're going to do, I think Koundé's a fantastic signing. I really, really do. But I would have took Varane over Koundé. What if I'd said to you, you can get Koundé or Varane, what would you have said? I would have took Varane. He's quick, he's taller, he's better on the ball, and he's more experienced. We need a player for now. We don't need a player that... If we'd have bought Koundé, there's a very big chance that Lindelof would have started the season. I could see Koundé being very much like Van Dijk, Van de Beek, where everyone goes, we've bought a really good player here, and then he doesn't get picked. I don't know that Ollie would have picked Koundé. I think we would have had adjustment period and everything like that. Varane goes straight into that team. Varane is better than Maguire. That, for me, Varane is perfect. This signing also gives us the opportunity to rest Maguire a bit more next season. We need Pogba sorted now. Either stay or go. Let's get it sorted, says Sean Turner. Any news on Neves, says Tom? Yeah, it's a load of bollocks, basically. I said it at the time. I don't know why certain Twitter accounts were tweeting it out as verbatim. That story was never credible, that Neves was coming to Manchester United. I believe the story actually was that Neves wants to come to Manchester United. But Neves wants to go to Chelsea. He wants to go to Arsenal. He wants to leave Wolves. Manchester United are not in for Neves at the moment. It's very quiet around Neves. So we're certainly not in advanced talks for Neves. I hope that can develop. But at the same time, I'd like it develop. I'd rather have Basuma than Neves. I would, you know. I'll be honest with you there. I would. Camavinga, yeah, I'd rather have him as well. So I don't know what's going to happen with the midfielder, but we're going to have to sell players to do it. Mark, you're right. We bought third, fourth choice players before. We bought them overpriced and gave them high wages. Also, can we try James plus 20 million for Phillips? Says Amit. I mean, there's another player I'd take at United. What's for dinner tonight? Says Seth. I've had it. It was sweet and sour chicken. Homemade. Lovely. Peppers and everything in it. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Mark, do you think we'll get a CDM after we sell some Deadwood? Says Ronit. Well, Prabhu just said, what about sales there? Now we've got a quick centre-back. Do we need a DM? Yes, we do, says YouTube Critique. Can we win a trophy without signing midfielders, says Jordan Watt? We can win a trophy because we can do this. I think if he does that with Fred, it might work. If he does it with McTominay, I don't know whether it'll work. But he could do it with just Fred. But what about Phillips from Leeds, says Darren Mullaney? I think what's going to happen with United is this. We're not going to get the holding midfielder in for Leeds, which is a shame. That's the first thing I would say. You know, reality bites. Here comes gravity. Get your feet back on the ground. I don't think we're going to have the holding midfielder in for the first 3 games of the season, which to me isn't ideal, but ultimately, are you going to lose any sleep over it? Really, I think we need a new midfielder in by the game against Leeds, but we're not going to be able to do that, I don't think. What we're going to have to do is raise about... I would say we need to raise about 50 million quid. Now, going through that list that we've heard, Phil Jones will be lucky to get a packet of Quavers for. Lingard, we can get about 25 million for. Tellez, we won't sell because he's injured, so forget about that. Pereira, we do well to get 10 for. Williams will go on loan. Delot, if we sell Delot, we'll be using that money to buy Trippier, so I'd cross Delot out anyway. I think Trippier comes in if we sell Delot. If he doesn't, we keep Delot. Anthony Martial, I can't see Martial going. I really can't. How do you sell a player on £250,000 a week who a year ago was worth 60 million and now nobody paid 40 million for? So I can't see Martial going. Dan James, you could get 20 million for. Phil Jones, you wouldn't get anything for. Matic, I think you could get maybe 5 for. So for me, if you want to raise money, the best players to sell are Dan James, Nemanja Matic, Andreas Pereira and Lingard. Lingard and James would be 45 million. Matic as well would be 50 million. Pereira as well would be 60 million. So there's 60 million we could raise there from Pereira, Matic, James and Lingard. I don't think he'll sell both Lingard and James, so straight away take 20 million off that. I think he could raise 40 million with Lingard, Pereira and Matic, and that's the best way he's going to raise money. So I don't think we can raise the 50 million. Unless we sell Pogba, which I don't want to do, or one of the goalkeepers, which we should have done. Jordan, I hope Varane gets our defence switched on from the first minute every game. We had to win from 1-0 down too many times last year, says Jordan. Not meaning to be the prophet of doom, but could this just be Woodward going out with a bang before he leaves? Then it's business as usual. Dominic, I think next summer will be very interesting, whether we can do this again. I would say we won't do it again, but we need to be doing this every summer. No more of Wan-Bissaka tucking in. Let's go. Also, Mark, your choice other than Rice. I like Basuma, Rajat. You know, I'm probably in the minority, but I like Basuma. I think he's a footballer who can play with his back to the opposition. He's used to high teams pressing them. He's used to passing out through Brighton. Don't underestimate the technical ability Brighton players have in that midfield to be able to play the way that they do. So I like Basuma. I think he's tenacious. I think he'd be perfect for United, and I think he's reasonably priced. And the reason I say Basuma is I think you'd get him for about 40 million, which is all we can raise. I don't think we're going to raise any more than 40 million this summer. And also, if we've got a sell to buy, it's not just one player, is it? It's going to have to be Lingard and Pereira and Matic to get 40 million. Well, that's 3 deals. I mean, are we going to run? I don't want to be the prophet of doom either, but how are we going to sell these players? How quick are we going to sell these players to be able to buy the midfielder? Should we not be buying the midfielder anyway and then selling the players? Because I think if we're 5 weeks from the end of the transfer window, what if it takes 5 weeks to sell Lingard and 2 others and then you're out of time? I think it's going to be very interesting to see. Maybe not in the next few days, hopefully in the next few days, but certainly hopefully in the next week or so. We need to know who the midfield target is. I'm hoping we're going to start getting some good updates from good sources that this is the midfielder United want. We were very close to Camavinga a couple of weeks ago and it's gone very, very quiet. He could have been the midfielder. Mark, do you think Brandon Williams will leave loan towards the end of August now that Telles is out till September? I think you're right there, Anand. Mark, have United peaked too early with signings too early? Chelsea, City, Liverpool haven't made moves yet. Do they know something United don't? Strange that United are dominantly the window so early though, says Andrew Chow. And one way to do the deal for the CDM is loan plus obligation to buy with an upfront loan fee of what we can afford, says 10 million Akshay. Yeah, but who wants to do that? Why would like Wolves or Atletico Madrid or Brighton let us take Basuma or Neguez or Ruben Neves on loan to buy? You know, they will want money for the players. That's a big loss for them. Of course they will. As for getting your business done too early, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as that. You can't get your business done too early. I've got no problem with how quickly we've done our business at all. I think we've done fantastic. It's fantastic. Make sure you smash a like on the video if you're watching, by the way, and do subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. We're getting very close to 80,000, so make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. That'd be fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Let's go. Questions flying in here. I want Sabitzer in our midfield. He would be perfect. He's available for around 50 million. He's a leader. 50 million, Sean? What? Sabitzer's not available for 15 million. He was available for about 20 million a few weeks ago. He can't be available for 50 million. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Plus, also, I'm not going to get myself into trouble again. I said Sabitzer could play in a midfield pivot, and I think he could. But he would need a really good holding midfielder next to him, which is what we need. There's no point in buying Sabitzer or Renato Sanchez, who are very good midfielders but need a holding midfielder with them. What about a loan with buy obligation for Basuma and we send James Garner across for a season-long loan, or we just buy Basuma and send Garner across, as AJ saying? That would be a good idea. Mark, what do you think about Llorente from Atletico? We were linked to him back in June. Llorente's a very interesting player. I mean, as I say, I haven't watched La Liga a lot recently, so I will actually bow down to a lot of you lot. Gideon says he loves the programme. Thank you. Make sure you smash a like on the video. I'll have a recap for you in a minute because I know that the 8 o'clock crew will be joining now, and we have been live for nearly an hour for a different reason because Raphael Varane has been announced as a Manchester United player. But on Llorente, let me just say about Llorente, I feel that with Llorente, and can I say Llorente anymore? But with Llorente, look, people will say he's a right back because that's what he is on bloody an ultimate team. People will say he's an attacking midfielder. People will say he's a holding midfielder. I think that answers the question with Llorente for me. He's very adaptable. Is he I mean, I think back to that game against Liverpool just before COVID, and to me, he looked like a very good sort of box-to-box midfielder. He's a utility player effectively, isn't he? He can play in a lot of positions, and I like those sort of players if you're going to make them a holding midfielder. If you think about Fabinho, when we were first linked to Fabinho all those years ago, there's videos on this channel where you can search Goldbridge Fabinho, and it will go back to like 2016. He was basically a right back for Monaco who can play centre back and centre defensive midfielder. Liverpool end up buying him a couple of years later and play him as a CDM. So I like those sort of players that are adaptable and can play in numerous positions. Rolf, thank you very much for the super chat there. I appreciate that. So yes, 7 o'clock tonight, Manchester United announced that Raphael Varane is a Manchester United player. They've agreed a fee with Real Madrid, and Varane will now be flying into the UK, have to go into quarantine, and then he will sign the contract with Manchester United once the medical has been completed. So absolutely fantastic news. We got Here We Go yesterday on the show with Romano. And we've got Manchester United tonight confirming the deal. And I think United had to do that. A little bit like Sancho, really. They've had to do it because if Raphael Varane's got a quarantine for a few days, he's probably not going to get his medical done until early next week. In which case, you've got to get that official news out there. Carlos says, hey, just a question. You don't think would be better if Lingard stays at Manchester United to come in for Bruno, like he can be rested for some games? Carlos... if you take a look at this here, why do I need to rest Bruno with... You'll notice there's no Jesse Lingard on my bench because Donny van der Beek can come off the bench and do it. Don't need him to do it. Pogba could move there and do it, and McTominay could come in there and do it. And if we buy a holding midfielder, we don't need Jesse. We don't need Jesse Lingard. We just don't need him anymore. And you know what? Jesse Lingard, he doesn't need to sit on the bench for Man United waiting to be Bruno's backup when he can be playing regularly first team football for somebody. So I think Jesse needs to go, and I think that Manchester United need to sell him. I think it's best for everybody. Amit with the super chat saying good job. Thanks everyone. I'm just going to carry on taking your questions. Slow Sport. Hold on, we've got a message here from... I got a text from Samuel. I got a text. Jim White, Slow Sports News. Manchester United have agreed personal terms with Raphael Varane, and over the next 2 months they're going to be sorting out a fee, and then maybe Jim White yellow tie, maybe Manchester United can announce Varane before Santa comes. Come back tomorrow when we talk about Kanate being close to a move to Liverpool. I don't think Sky have announced it yet. Slow Sports News. Martial needs to go too, says Ogembo. I can't see that happening. Jim White went a bit Irish there. I've lost him a little bit. I don't agree with that story, Rahul, that Manchester United's priority was a CDM, then a centre-back, but Varane was available, so CDM became the priority. I don't agree with that. I think we can all make up stories. We can all make up stories. I could say to you that Manchester United's priority this summer was a striker, and it probably was, but we realised we couldn't get one. I could also say to you that United's priority was a CDM, but they needed to get the Sancho deal done because Dortmund weren't going to wait around, and then Varane came up. If United's priority was a holding midfielder, they would have a holding midfielder. Like they need to sell to buy now, so it's not a priority. I'm really hoping we're going to get a holding midfielder though. Really hoping. Do you think we made a mistake by selling Ander Herrera? He could have been our answer to CDM, says in Dranil. I don't know. We never should have let Herrera go. Whether he could have been a holding midfielder, I I don't know. It's I don't know about that one. I miss Herrera, like Al-Jar says there, but the past is gone. It was never Ollie's fault with that one either. Never Ollie's fault. Have you listened to the United hating idiots on TalkSport trying to say Ben White is better than Varane? It says nuts. Look, I've got no interest in what other clubs are doing. No interest at all. And I think that's, fair play. But I don't think Ben White's a terrible player for a mid-table club. I think Koundé's a good signing, and I would have took him at United. I don't know what's going to happen with Pau Torres, but I think that he would have been a decent signing as well. I'm very, very happy with what Manchester United have achieved. I'm very, very happy with Raphael Varane. I don't think there's a better option. I think when we bought Bruno Fernandes, everybody said the same. What a waste of money, he's a load of shit. And he went on to have one of the best years any United signings ever had in their first years. And I think that Raphael Varane and Jadon Sancho are players that worry people. I've been in that position before as a United fan where we've not really done anything. I remember in the Sir Alex years, like we didn't always have a good summer, and you'd watch people going having really good summers and you'd think, oh, maybe this is the year that we don't win the title. And then we would win the title. So look, just because we've got Sancho and Varane, it doesn't make us title winners. It makes us contenders on paper. But football's not played on paper. It's played on grass or AstroTurf or 4G. It's not played on paper. So we do have a team that can fight for a title, and I would be a little bit concerned. And I think sometimes our rivals' concern comes across as being a bit bitter. But let them be like that, because I'm under no illusions that winning a title will be very hard. Being title contenders in May will be very, very hard. But that's the standards we've got to set. And if I tell you what, if Sancho has a good season and Varane has a good season, we'll be title contenders. Because if both those players have a good season, you're telling me Luke Shaw's not going to have a good season, Harry Maguire's not going to have a good season, Bruno's not going to have a good season, Cavani's not going to have a good season, Greenwood's not going to have a good season. We've got too many quality players now, and if they play to their potential, we will have a very good season. But I still feel that final piece of the puzzle has to be the holding midfielder. And I think the next fortnight, the next 14 days, is going to be very interesting to see if we start to get any momentum. Because certainly when I'm speaking to Romano next Monday, I'm not going to be talking about Varane. I'm not going to be talking about Sancho. I'm going to be talking about midfielders, and I'm going to go, what's up? What about this player? What about this player? I'll be asking him like I did a year ago. We had Romano on the show last May. And I was just talking about anybody. There was no indication that we were going for Van der Beek at that point. And I said to him, what about Van der Beek? And he said, well, look, you never know. United like him. Barcelona like him. He will leave Ajax at some point. Romano said he liked him. I said I liked him. But we had no idea at that point. And so it came to pass he did come. So I will be drilling down on every little bit of source and everybody I've got, seeing, what is happening. Is there anything happening? But as Romano said this afternoon, with regards to Ruben Neves, very quiet. And in Romano dictionary, that means nothing's happening. It's very quiet with Ruben Neves. Camavinga, we are monitoring. Goretzka, he wants a new deal. Basuma, we're not even looking at. Saul Niguez is looking at Barcelona. So look, we want a midfielder, which is an advancement from where we were maybe 6 weeks ago, where there was very little about a midfielder. What I would be positive about is over the last 6 weeks, from numerous outlets, whether it's Manchester Evening News, The Athletic, the BBC, Romano, other foreign outlets that are credible, it is easy to see that United would ideally like to buy a midfielder. But we're also being told we've got to sell to buy. And we don't know what's happening with Pogba. So on the midfielder, I'm a bit like that. Is our summer over? I don't think it is. I still really think we'll get Trippier at some point. I really, really do. But we'll have to just wait and see. Do you think Greeny can replace Cavani next year, says Siddharth? That's got to be the challenge. We'll talk about that in a couple of weeks about the season ahead. Because I think every individual player has their targets this year. Rashford, for me, has got to have the apparition and then come back and blitz the season at 100%. Martial, if he stays, it's do or die for Martial and his United career. Cavani, it's his last year in European football. He wants to go out with a bang. Greenwood, this year for Greenwood is about, well, look, Sancho's on the right wing now. You haven't got hold of that. Cavani's up front. You haven't got hold of that. In a year's time, we might think, let's try and get Haaland. So for Greenwood, this year is about being consistent and very good in the opportunities that he gets, and maybe forcing Cavani out of the team. maybe Greenwood can do that. Surely go all out for Kante, offer whatever Chelsea want, would fix DDM and bring the best out of Pogba. If only Christian, the world worked like that. I don't think we've got that sort of money. Zane says, Mark, I saw you make fun of our beloved team. I guarantee you Ollie won't win a trophy this season. FA Cup don't count. How can an Arsenal fan say the FA Cup doesn't count? That's like walking outside to have a breath of fresh air and saying oxygen doesn't count. Like, of course the FA Cup counts. You made a bloody career out of it, Arsenal have, over the last 10 years. But I actually do agree with Zane. I don't think the FA Cup is enough. I know it would be a trophy, and we haven't won a trophy for a while, but I don't think the FA Cup is enough for United. NMCC says, hi Mark, as exciting as it is at the moment, completely agree that we can never forget the past with the Glazers. No matter what they do now, they made their bed a long time ago. Anything now is making up for before, says NMCC. Well, look, I've said this many times before. I definitely believe in second chances, and I definitely believe in giving people another go. The funny thing is, I said this about the Glazers numerous times over the last 2 years. I'm Glazers out, but at the end of the day, I am Glazers out. But if they started running this football club properly, then I would be happy to say they're doing a good job. But I'm not going to say they're doing a good job because they've chucked a load of money at this summer. We spoke about this at the start of the window. I think most people predicted that United would spend money this summer because of what happened at the end of the season with the protests and the Super League. Will they do it next year? Will they do it the summer after? And I would say, look, and here's an analogy for you. Maybe your local fish and chip shop or Chinese takeaway or Indian takeaway or whatever has a bad reputation and has had a bad reputation for years for crap food. So you don't use it. You don't like it. And then somebody says, you know what? Go and try that fish and chip shop. It's had a rebrand. It's really nice. And you try it and you go, I tell you what, it was really nice. That was really nice. Well done. Are you going to go back again? Come on, let's go back again. Oh, it's the same as it's always been. It was a one-hit wonder. That's what this summer could be like for United. One good meal from a crap restaurant. Or you could go back again and it's good. And again it's good. And suddenly it becomes your favourite takeaway. So Man United are a bit like that analogy because I think we've been serving up shit for a long time. But this summer, it served up something really good. Will they go back to normal next year or will they keep doing the good things? And if they keep doing the good things, we could look at this in 10 years and go, remember them protests back in 2021? They'd done a crap job as the owners and then suddenly it jolted them into position and the next 10 years they ran the club properly. Come on, wishful thinking, I know. You've got to go with the facts. 16 years is longer than 16 weeks, but maybe they will turn a new leaf. And if they do, they'll get the credit. They will. They will. And MCC's there. Hi Mark, will you be streaming on Twitch later? I've already done it, mate. I've already done episode 2 for Twitch. So check it out. Pack it up. It's not in the link in the video description. It's Goldbridge TV, episode 2 today. Bit of a challenge Tuesday, but I did okay. So check out episode 2 of the new career mode. Looking forward. I tell you what, I am looking forward to talking about career modes. FIFA 22, Varane, Sancho. I'm just not even going to touch United on FIFA until FIFA 22 now, and then the proper career mode kicks in. Yabba dabba doo. Varane at the back, Sancho, Scooby Doo. Varane at the back, Sancho on the right, and Declan Rice in the midfield. You're dreaming. I tell you what, this could be the best Manchester United career mode on FIFA ever, because when you start, you don't have to sell a load of crap players and buy a load of players. You might actually have a team where you go, I don't need to buy anyone. I've got Cavani up front, I've got Rashford on the left, I've got Sancho on the right, I've got Bruno, Pogba, good holding midfielder, Luke Shaw, Maguire, Varane, Wan-Bissaka, De Gea. I don't need to buy anybody. Give the money to charity. Give it to the NHS. Do you actually think Ben White is shit? Good players, but United clearly overpaid on Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Maguire and Fred. No, DP, I don't. And if any Arsenal fan is watching, I genuinely don't think Ben White is shit. I just, like many United fans, we get a bit frustrated and we get a bit petulant. And when we were getting linked to Ben White, I just called him Ben Shite, because I just think it would have been a shit signing for United. It would have been a shit signing for United because we needed, next to Harry Maguire, somebody that's better than Lindelof and really better than Maguire, who is quick and dominant and good on the ball. And Ben White's none of those things. I don't think he's necessarily better than Lindelof. Maybe he is, but it's an argument. We didn't need an argument. We didn't need a debate. We needed a player that was going to be head and shoulders above Lindelof and super fast. And in Varane, we've achieved that. So good luck to Ben White if he goes to Arsenal. But for me at United, it would have been a bad signing. This transfer window should truly open the fans' eyes as to how bad the Glazers have been. We should be demanding this window after every window. Easy, says Mario. Mark, I'd do anything to see a Martial redemption. Rashi, Martial, Sanchi, yes, please, says Jacob. I'm not writing Martial off. I'm really not. I hope Martial stays. I think he will stay. And that would be great. But Danny J just says there, Everton are apparently linked with Martial. Look, we maybe need to prepare for this. I've not really been speaking to people about outgoings, and I think over the next couple of days I'm going to speak to a couple of people, because for me it's always been about the incomings, and it'd be very easy for me to start trying to find out about midfielders, and I will try to do that. But I do sense from a couple of people I've spoken about, and we had Romano on yesterday, so I'd say he's one of the one people, and you heard that conversation. I do sense on the midfield front at the moment that United want one, but they're not moving for one because they probably want to save money and they want to make some money. So I think the next stage for United is going to be sales. Now, what I would say is, if you'd said to me at the start of the summer we were going to get Sancho and Varane, I would have said that's brilliant. I don't agree. I don't think we'll do it. Well, we've done it. And I think this summer with United has shown that anything is possible. So for me to sit here and say we definitely won't sell Pogba, and we definitely won't sell Martial, and we definitely won't sell Van der Beek or Henderson or whatever, I might be a little bit naive about that, because we might do that. We might sell Martial. We might sell Pogba. I'd be very disappointed if we did sell any of those players, by the way. But we might do it. But I would say, for Martial to go, it's going to take big money for that to happen. So, be very interested to see where that goes. Hi, Mark. Do you think Pogba will sign a new deal after the arrival of Sancho and Varane? Next, Camavinga, says Humish. If Paul Pogba signs a new contract at Manchester United, I think there'd be a lot of United fans that are not happy about that. Would you be happy about it? Would you be happy if he signed a new deal? For me, I've always been quite honest about Pogba. For me, he's one of the most exciting midfield talents in world football. I said it when we bought him, and I've said it when we've had him. He's infuriatingly inconsistent, and I think he infuriatingly gets misused in United. I know a lot of people say about Pogba that, and they're right, it doesn't take... I mean, Teddy Sheringham said it a few weeks ago. Good players play well in any team, and that is inconsistency, and he's right. He's right about that. But we've also misused him in the relation to positional sense. I like Pogba. I'd like Pogba to stay. But then there's a part of me that says, if he wants to go, you've got to let him go. Hello, Mark. It's me, the guy who gave you McGann. I prayed for this deal. Do you think we can play out from the back quicker, or is Fred collecting still scary? Says Christopher Lockwood. I checked the video out from this afternoon, Christopher, in relation to that. I think it tells the story perfectly about what I think about that. And as Sally Devil Red 7 says, Raiola is the biggest problem, really, about that. So, we're going to have to wait and see what happens with Mino Raiola and what he wants to do in relation to Manchester United for that, because he will decide. But look, exciting times, isn't it? I think with Varane being announced by the club, I mean, to be honest with you, where are we now anyway? As I said yesterday with Fabrizio Romano, when he says here we go, you can have 4 million followers on Twitter, you can have none. No, if you lose your credibility, you lose your credibility. Imagine if Fabrizio Romano said, here we go on Raphael Varane, and then we didn't sign him. There would be uproar. There would be uproar. And knowing how that guy works and how hard he works, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that. So I think the new world for football, really, it's nice to have United tweeting that it's done apart from the medical. But when Fabrizio Romano said, here we go yesterday, we had Varane. And that's the world of football now, isn't it? And it seems to work better with United. I think Romano and United have become... I must ask him that next Monday. Romano, Fabrizio, is Manchester United the number one club for you when it comes to transfers for interaction? Because it must be. He's become Manchester United. I mean, he's Arsenal's transfer guru, he's Real Madrid, he does everybody. But Manchester United has just become such big for him. He basically says, here we go, and that's the deal done. Will we challenge for the title if we get a CDM, says Matt Owen? I think we need to challenge for the title without one, mate, but that would help massively. And Mario says, this window is also a reminder of how low our standards have dropped in the recent past. We're one of the richest clubs in the world, and that's a fact. Yeah, Mario, I do agree with that. I do agree with you that. Can I just ask everybody a favour? We're on 5.9 thousand likes, so please smash a like on the video. It'd be nice to get 10,000 likes for Varane, because this effectively is officially confirming that United have agreed the deal, and they've confirmed it themselves, so it's not speculation, it's fact. And the second thing as well, please click the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner and click the bell to get all your notifications, because at the moment we're going live at all sorts of times. Normally it's 10 a.m. in the morning and 8 p.m. at night and an afternoon show. But at the moment, it's been 7 p.m, it's been 3 p.m, it's been all sorts of stuff. So please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Ian Ghost, thank you very much for becoming a member of the club, like Susan Brandon in as well. Nice to see the badges in the chat. That means you're a member of the club. Thanks for supporting the channel. You can do that by clicking the join button. And your badge changes every month that you're a member. Really appreciate the United Stand Ultras. We're TUS Army on here, aren't we? Scolbridge Ultras on That's Football. But TUS Army, thank you very much in the chat, as ever. Ronit Biswas, White Owl, Chris Connors. Please react to the pineapple video, says Greg. Don't know what you're talking about. White Owl says, my phone didn't give me a notification. If you're not getting your notifications and you're a subscriber, if you go down, I know how it works on video, but on your laptops. But if you go down to where you subscribe, there's like a button next to it where a bell. Click the bell and then tick to get all notifications. Sometimes you won't get a notification through YouTube if we go live more than 3 times in a day, because it tends to send notifications out for the first couple. But that's how it works. TUS Army Rock says, Lou, we're coming for that title, says Gizmo. I mean, look, what I will say there is that when it comes to the title, how exciting is this season going to be? And I sort of touched on that before, and I'm so excited about the coming weeks, because when you think about what happened last season, I said at the start of the season last year, I don't think we'll get top 4. That's such a horrible way to go into a new season. Imagine being Tottenham or Arsenal or Leeds or anything like that. Well, Leeds are probably happy to be here, to be honest, but going into the start of a season and not knowing what's going to happen and not expecting to even make the top 4, it's such a horrible thing, especially when you've been a really successful club like United, where at the start of the season you're like, ooh, 9 months of uncertainty, but I expect us to fight for a title. Last summer, I was like, we didn't get Sancho, we didn't get the centre back. I felt Cavani, we got away with it, was lucky, and I thought, well, Diallo and Pellistri were never ready, and Van der Beek felt like it was not the right player that Ollie wanted. So I predicted we wouldn't finish in the top 4. We did, but it wasn't a very exciting start to the season. This season, for the first time in a long time, is totally different. It's like, I'm not expecting us to win the league, but I am expecting us to challenge for the title. And that's really exciting to think that, post-Christmas, all the way up to Christmas, we could be in a title race. It'd be great. It'd be very, very hard. Very hard. I mean, ultimately, it doesn't matter how good your players are. You're putting Ollie up against Tuchel and Klopp and Pep. And I'm sorry, I don't care whether it's a go-kart race or a game of bloody FIFA Pro Clubs. I wouldn't fancy Ollie to beat them because they're better managers. But this is the challenge for Ollie. He's got players now that Pep, and I've said this before, if you want to win a title, you've got to buy players that those clubs would buy. And I don't think we've done that in the past. I'm not convinced Pep Guardiola would have bought some of the players that we've bought. Would he have bought Dan James? No. Would he have bought Lindelof? I don't think he would have done. Would he have bought Wan-Bissaka? Well, he likes right backs, but I don't know. But I tell you what, this summer, would Klep. That's both of them. Pep and Klopp. Pep and Klopp. Pep and Klopp, would they want Sancho? Yes. Would they want Varane? Yes. Would they like Bruno in their team? Yes. Would they like Maguire in their team? I think yes, they would. Would they like Cavani as an option up front? Yes. So this is the exciting thing for me. With the likes of Varane and Sancho coming in and the players that we've already got, we are building a team that I think our rivals across Europe and England would really like. And it's starting to become the thing it needs to be. Welcome to the Members Club, by the way, Druv and also Sally Devil Red 7. It's starting to become the battle that it needs to be, which is the manager battle. I think we're looking at our team now, and I'll show you on the screen. This is a potential starting 11. We're looking at the team now and we're going, that's a very good team. Welcome to the Members Club, Niall Kane. That's a very good team. we may be getting towards a level playing field in relation to our starting 11 against Chelsea and Man City and Liverpool. Maybe, arguably we are. It's now what the managers do with the teams. And we know Pep's better than Ollie, and we know Klopp's better than Ollie, and you could argue that Tuchel's better than Ollie as well. But that doesn't mean Ollie's going to fail, because the whole point of Solskjaer as our coach is that we bought in a potential manager to do a good job. At the moment, I'd say, yeah, Pep is better, Klopp is better, Tuchel is better. And you'd expect them to do better than Ollie. But with the players he's got available now, he's got no excuses. He's either going to be good enough or he's not going to be good enough. And that's what we bought into. Mark, we need a Varane emoji like Bruno and Sanchi, says Ronitz. Good idea. We've got to be in a title race. Yeah, I agree. I do agree. I'm not going to disagree with you that. I do think we've got to get ourselves into a title race. And that's what I did the video about before this afternoon. You've got to watch that video this afternoon. It was absolutely incredible. Really enjoyable. And it shows you how we're going to improve as a team. Watching from Barbados. Where's everybody watching from, actually? Let me know where everyone's watching from. Because it's been bloody live for about an hour and 20 minutes now. The 8 o'clock show's merged into the 7:10 show because Man United decided to announce Raphael Varane as a Manchester United player, which is absolutely fantastic. Right, somebody just told me about a new tweet that I need to read here. I was just going to have a little bit of a roundup of what's going on, because when we're live, things happen. Let's have a look here. Twan Sebi to Newcastle on loan is interesting, because I thought Twan Sebi would end up at Villa. I think that would be a good move for Twan Sebi, actually, as a loan deal. Apparently, Twan Sebi's going to get a new contract as well. Manchester United are going to give him a new contract before he goes on loan. I don't know what people think about that. I think Twan Sebi's 24, isn't he now? 23, 24. So I don't know about that one. I mean, the thing I would say about Twan Sebi, he did go on loan to Villa and do very well. Villa were in the Championship at the time, and then he came back and got injured for a year. He came back, he did well against Mbappe and Neymar, and then hardly got picked. If he goes to Newcastle and he's one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League, below the top 6, then maybe he's going to come into United and do very well in the future. So I wouldn't sell Twan Sebi, but he might have to go on long loans in the Premier League for a while and bide his time and show his fitness. Manchester United's Raphael Varane was only prepared to leave Real Madrid to join Manchester United. Varane is a boyhood United fan. That's from the Manchester Evening News. He will sign his Manchester United contract and complete his medical after obtaining a visa and completing quarantine. So it'll be interesting to see how long his quarantine is going to be. Raphael Varane was respectful to Real Madrid right until the deal was agreed. He trained until that very moment, and the club knew that his plan was to challenge himself in the Premier League. And as I said before, further Manchester United signings coming in from many sources will now be dependent on selling players. That is the latest in relation to that. Axel Twan Sebi seems the most likely central defender to make way for Raphael Varane, potentially on loan to Newcastle. I think that's going to be very interesting. I read something at dinner time, lunchtime for some of you, that Eric Bailly is already looking to have talks with Solskjaer when he comes back from the Olympics about his future. Because the issue Eric Bailly is going to have is, how far down the pecking order is he? You know, it's not just... I think last season he was third choice centre back. If Lindelof got injured, Eric Bailly played. He's probably fourth choice centre back now. If Varane gets injured, is he going to go back to Lindelof and Maguire? And Ollie will do that because he knows Magaluf work to a certain extent. I personally think if Varane gets injured, you'd play Bailly because he's quick and Varane is quick. But Eric Bailly, I think, will have those chats and he could be gone by Christmas, which is why I think Man United might be looking at another centre-back. It's very hard to keep four centre-backs happy. I mean, you look at the Man City situation and what they've had with Laporte there, and that's interesting as well because Laporte is a player that was on the bench a lot for Man City last season. It's difficult to keep people happy. And, you know, that is going to be a challenge, definitely. The relationship between Solskjaer, Ed Woodward and the football director John Murtough has been described as key to the swift summer signings. Director of football negotiations Matt Judge negotiated the signings of Sancho and Varane. Well, you know, that to me is very interesting because I think everybody wants to say that the difference is Murtough as director of football, but the head of negotiations is Matt Judge, and he was last year. And last year was a shambles, and this year has been good. Ed Woodward's the chief executive, and he was last year, and he is this year. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's the manager, and he was last year. So the difference between last year and this year is that we have a director of football with Murtagh. But also, I think it's the kick up the arse that Judge and Woodward and Ollie, to a certain extent, they've been more focused. They've given themselves a kick up the backside as well. So obviously bringing a director of footballer in has helped, but the director of football in relation to Murtagh was already part of these discussions anyway. He basically got moved into a position that didn't exist, but was part of the discussions anyway as sort of head scout. So there's not a massive amount of difference from Manchester United last summer and this summer in relation to the personnel, in relation to transfer negotiations. Where the big difference is the structure and the restructure and the refocus, because a lot of these people are still the same people who made bad mistakes last year. So collectively, it's a lot better. So interesting, very, very interesting to see how it works out with the rest of the transfer window, as I said. Let's have a look what this is. Oh, cool. Paul, I'll have a look at those. Cheers, pal. Appreciate that. How would you compare Ben White to Raphael Varane? Look, I don't want to get into this because at the end of the day, I've got people think I'm obsessed with Arsenal. I'm not obsessed with Arsenal. I get asked about Arsenal a lot. Zayn Miassi is a part of our community, even though he's an Arsenal fan. So I'm not obsessed with Arsenal. We just do get asked about Arsenal a lot. I don't think Arsenal are Man United's rival, and I've said this before, and I know it comes across as really arrogant, but I'm not interested in Arsenal. I'm interested in Man City and Chelsea and Liverpool. I think we're the big four clubs in England now. I think we've got the top four on lockdown, and I know people are going to clip that, and we're not going to get in top four, etc. next year. And if that happens, it happens. But as I said, the top four clubs in England, when you look at their squads and what they're doing, it's Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City, and ourselves. We're all our rivals. Maybe Man City don't see United as rivals because they've won the league. Maybe Chelsea don't want to see us as a rival, but I see them as our rivals. That's what we aspire to be beating. I don't look at Spurs or Everton or Arsenal or Wolves as a threat. I respect them as difficult games, but I don't look at them as a threat. So I don't compare Varane to Ben White because it's not the same thing. It's like comparing the best steak and chips dinner you've ever had with a bowl of cold shit. You know, and I'm not saying that Ben White's shit. I'm just saying that Varane is on a different level. Ben White is a good centre-back. He's a huge upgrade on David Luiz. Take the positives, but to compare that deal to Varane is actually quite silly unless we're just doing it for banter reasons. Sinan Mahanahan, welcome to the United Stand Members Club. I appreciate that. Varane made a lot of mistakes last season. I feel he'll be a flop, says Jay Bailey. Well, nothing like a bit of positivity. Druv says he's watching from New Delhi. Do you think we will sign Zidane if we're not in the title race at Christmas, and can't we play Van der Beek as a CDM? I don't think he is a CDM really, Druv, to be honest with you. And Varane, talk about managers would mean we have to fail. And does anyone want to fail? If we fail, then obviously Ollie will get the sack. But with the team we've got, I don't want Ollie to fail. Do you think we have a shot at Haaland next summer? I do, Johnny. I do. I do think we have a shot at Haaland next summer if he doesn't leave this summer. But I think a lot of teams do. I think there'll be a lot of teams in for Haaland next summer. Sancho and Varane, if United should go and scout the next Kante, surprise us, says Gustav. And Mark, I can completely agree, not been overexcited over these transfers. This same board got a Galo on loan, which epitomised our incompetence. I'm very excited about the transfer window that we've had. Please smash a like on the video. Let's see if we can get to 10,000 likes. Smash a like on the video. And make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, you're very welcome to the channel. We're trying to get up to 80,000 subscribers. Well, 1,080,000, but that's the focus at the moment. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Sanderberg, Advath. I've been saying this for a long time. Don't sleep on Sanderberg to Manchester United. I can't really say more than that. It probably won't happen, but he's not being mentioned, and I don't know why. Because I've had conversations with people, and I know Ollie really likes him, and he does play as a holding midfielder. So, watching from South Africa, our transfer window is not over, says Vero, and that brings me back to what I was going to say. If you go out to a restaurant, right? And you, this doesn't normally happen actually, and it might be more beneficial. And people thought big players didn't want to play under Ollie, says Tom. You can't beat the pull of United. I've always said that. Am I blocked from super chats? No, Bjorn, you're not. I've said that before. Just before I go back to what I was going to say. People say, who's going to want to come and play for United? Who's going to want to manage United with the Glazers? But in football, people are egotistical. and they believe they can be the player that makes a difference. And it doesn't matter whether you're Dan James, Jadon Sancho, Raphael Varane. If you come to Manchester United, look at what happens when United sign a player. Look at the interactions on social media. Look at the hype and the news headlines. Manchester United, nobody can live with Manchester United for transfer news. Maybe abroad, Real Madrid, Barcelona, but in the UK, Manchester United, massive when we're doing business. That's the draw. That is the draw. And we're a big club. But what we want to be is a big club that wins things, not a big club just because we're a big club. Watching from Qatar, Ollie is good when he's pressured, and I have a good feeling this year. Yeah, he does do well under pressure, KJK, and he is also a very lucky manager, which is a good thing to have. Ollie learned after bringing Norwegians to Cardiff, says Jenks. Well, he did try to get Josh King. But what I was going to say is, when you go to a restaurant and the waitress or the waiter come and take your order, and you'll go, for starter, I'll have that, and for mains, I'll have that. And then you eat that, and then they bring the dessert menu out. This is a bit like United. For me, I think this summer's a 3-course meal. Sancho, Varane, holding midfielder. That's what we need to deliver. Otherwise, I'm not satisfied. I want my pudding. I've had my starter, I've had my main, and now I want my dessert. I want my pudding. Somebody get me my pudding, right? But the problem is here, as I said, you go to a restaurant or a pub round here, in this country, you get your waitress and your waiter, and they go, "What do you want? Do you want any starter? Yes, please. What do you want? Sancho." And then, what's your main? Varane. Thank you. Okay. The starter comes out. Lovely. The main comes out. Lovely. They clear the plates. Any room for a pudding? Definitely. Get me the menu. Oh, Saul Niguez, Ruben Neves, Basuma, Declan Rice. Ooh, I don't know what I'm going to have, but I'm definitely having one. That's what I would do. 3-course menu, Manchester United summer. That's what makes it complete. The problem I fear is, you finish your mains, very nice, yeah. Do you want the dessert menu? Well, we'll take a look. And then they bring it and they go, this will do. We won't bother with this. Can we just have the bill? And that's what worries me. We've ordered the starter and we've ordered the main, and that comes together. The dessert is optional. We need the third signing. We need the holding midfielder. United might go, we've had enough, thanks. We'll have a look, but we've had enough. Can we have the bill? And that worries me a little bit. Rumours are Ollie is looking at a formation change to 4-3-3 from 4-2-3-1, which suggests the CDM is on the cards next. Rice and Didi Zakaria. Clark, you need to watch the video from this afternoon on the channel. We use this a lot, and it shows you why there has to be a formation change, and it's all because of this guy. We can't play 2 holding midfielders and spend money to bring him in. It doesn't work. Very good video this afternoon. Check it out. Really do. It's in the first 10 minutes as well. It explains why this signing makes us a completely different team that cannot play 2 holding midfielders anymore. It's not logical. Mark, we've just signed one of the world's great players. I'm still trying to get my head around it. It's almost elevated what I expect from here on in, says Nick P. Let's hope so. And greetings from Seattle. Should we be sending Ahmad out on loan? Side note, I'd love to send you a copy of my band's vinyl if interested. Is there a United Strand address somewhere? Says Jason Ketterer. Email address is the best way to get in contact with his mates. I just had somebody messaging me saying that's a very serious signing for getting Varane. Big time. Big time. Cash back. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm not doing Gary Barlow. Absolutely incredible. It's absolutely fantastic. I can't believe I went live at 7:10 and we've ended up doing the 8 o'clock show as well. Smash a like. This is dedication, but you know what? These things don't happen very often. The problem with Ollie is that he needs the best toys. Klopp won the Champions League with players from Hull, Stoke and a 60-year-old Milner. Oh, Roger. Roger, you remember as well. What are you talking about? This ain't the Red Man TV. This ain't Anfield Agenda, man. This is United Stand. We're not pro Scousers. What are you talking about? Klopp won the Champions League with players from Hull and Stoke. Andy Robertson was a very good signing for them. Trent Alexander-Arnold came through the youth setup. Van Dijk cost 75 million. They raided Southampton for good players. Like, you know what? Bruno Fernandes was from Sporting Lisbon. Harry Maguire was from Leicester. Luke Shaw was from Southampton. At the end of the day, they bought Thiago in from Barcelona. Fabinho was a good signing as well. So I don't think you can... The difference between Klopp and Ollie is that Klopp's a better manager and Ollie's got to prove himself to be a manager for that level. We all know that. Let's not start dissecting who bought what and who's this, that and the other. The reality is what I said a few minutes ago. Klopp is a better manager than Ollie. Pep is a better manager than Ollie. We know this. But Ollie is in one of the biggest jobs in world football, and he's got a very, very good side. What Ollie needs to do now is show whether he's got the potential to be in the same conversation as Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp. And if he has got that, he's gonna be very successful. If he hasn't, then we can't say that he wasn't given the opportunity. Of all the DMs we've discussed here, who do you think has the highest likelihood of actually coming? Shantana, I can't answer you that. And it was Bayern Munich for Thiago, of course it was. Getting tired. So, I don't know. I would go to the live chat here. Who do you think is the most likely centre midfielder we're going to buy? And I think a lot of people in the live chat, I predict, are going to say Neves. But to be honest with you, I think Neves is just somebody people are getting fascinated with. I'm not saying it can't happen, and I do think he should leave Wolves this summer. But I know United like Saul Niguez, and we always have. I know we like Camavinga. I know we'd love Declan Rice, but he's too expensive. I've got a funny feeling about Declan Rice. I don't know why, but it's probably the most unlikely signing. But I do get quite excited about that one. I don't know is the honest answer who we're going to get. I would quite like to see somebody come in who's a little bit left field that we haven't even mentioned before. As I said, for me, I'd love Bissouma. I'd be more than happy with that. I think with Sancho and Varane, we've got two superstar signings. Two players that really can only... If they're good, everyone will go, well, it's Varane and Sancho. So the level is high. I'd like to bring a Bissouma in where it's like, ooh, that's an exciting signing. That's a next step signing. Because although it is the next step for Sancho, he's still considered to be one of the world's best young talents. It's not the next step for Varane, it's the new step. Some would say it's a step down, but it's a new step. But for a Bissouma, it's a step up. Can he do it? But look, I tell you what, there's a player that I'd say is a good signing for Arsenal. I want Bissouma at United. He might well go to Arsenal. United should send on loan the speed merchant, Saeed. Meep. Is Meep leaving? And I think that the Glazers will not buy a CDM. And I'm irritated on some United fans bowing down to the Glazers now, says KJK. Well, look, we'll see what happens with it. Because I definitely do think that we do have fans that at the moment are very, very happy. But I will repeat what I've said many times before, that I think with Manchester United, the summer will be defined by me. By me! I'm the one with the power! I'm the one! I'm the chosen one! Oh, I am! No, I'm not really. On a personal sense, I will. This summer will be defined by who we bring in. Sancho and Varane take this summer, like Levin said last night, out of 10, it's 7.5. If we buy a holding midfielder, it takes it up to 9. You're not getting a perfect 10. Maybe 9.5. But at the moment, it's 7.5. Because the holding midfielder is so important. And if we don't get it, it's not quite good enough for me. But I hope we're going to get it. I've joined the Sith! I'm afraid you'll find the Empire. I'm afraid you'll find the Death Star is fully operational. What sort of other good lines from the Emperor? Yoda! No, that's Yoda. Yoda, you seek Yoda. Happy me, not doing Star Wars. I'll be here all night. Mark, you said this 6 to 8 months ago that we need a Varane, and here we are. Do you think a CDM completes this team, or do we still need more? Matt Owen, check that out. Let me just see if it's on. Let me just see if I can play this for you. Listen to this. I mean, I'm not a genius for saying it. It's more a shout out for the United stand. Goldbridge Mark on Instagram. What have you got to tell us? My story. It's story.
I have to tell you, here we go. Finally, I would say.
That's Romano. That's something else. That's something else. Listen to this. No, I can't play that. That's not what I want. No. There's a clip of me from Christmas, right, where I'm talking about why we need a centre-back. And it's exactly why we need a centre-back. But we've been talking, this is what I mean about this community. It's the best football community out there, because we don't just sit here talking about when's it going to end and we should be winning the league when we're in mid-table, or, celebrating titles in an empty stadium. we are a very educated community, and we've been doing it for years together. And we've been talking, one of the things that always makes me laugh is that haters are going to hate. I mean, for me, social media, especially Twitter, there's some good stuff on there, but a lot of it's just bullshit and hate and toxic. The community that matters to me is this community. And, they'll go and take a tweet out of context or a clip out of context, but we spend hours every week talking about football, especially when the transfer window is closed. And I know what this community is about. And we've been talking about Lindelof and Maguire not being good enough for years. Well, I say years, 2 years. We've also been talking about, we don't just moan about something, we come up with the solution. We've been talking about all last season what United need. We used to talk about Eric Bailly, that Everton game just before Christmas in the Carabao Cup, the high line, which leads to the high press. This is how United should play, but we can't do it with Lindelof because when you play a high press, they'll play a quick forward, ball over the top, they're through one-on-one. Varane changes that. A quick centre-back was essential. And you'd get people going, man, these people are just obsessed with pace with their FIFA 99 ratings on speed. No, it's nothing. Sometimes pace is an attribute because it's important. Sometimes you need it. And a quick centre-back was what United needed. And it's going to change everything. But on top of that, you've got one of the world's best aerial centre-backs who's quick and he's also very good on the ball. Mark, you're not worried that Rice plays never to someone for West Ham and for England and we want him to go play CDM alone? No, he doesn't. He holds the midfield, Jordan, for West Ham. Mark, can we get you as a CDM? Your work rate is incredible, says Arav. I tell you what, I'd love to do it. Is Victor Lindelof our new CDM? It's a new signing, sort of. Ed Woodward. God, no. Please. No, don't do it. Proud to be a part of the community, says Jack. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I can't wait. TUS Army, big style. Psh, fantastic. And that's why nights like this are really important because we get to share these moments together. And I'm very proud that we do get that because we've been doing this for years and years and years on this channel. And, there's a lot of work that goes into it. And it's been fantastic. Really, really excited to see this defence and attack in action. I know I'm getting giddy thinking about 21. I'm buzzing, Mark, says Carl Hagan. Thank you very much for the super chats there. And thoughts on the Express stating, well, can I just say straight away, Poe, thoughts on the Express, I switch off because they're not even tier 3. Thoughts on the Express stating the Glazers told Ollie that they won't be able to sanction any more big signings. Ollie said that it's understandable. I wouldn't believe that. I do think we've got to sell to buy. But as I said, go back to the restaurant analogy. I'm worried that United will now go, let's shut up shop. Let's shut up shop. This has got to be the longest show ever, says Niall. Well, no, watch-alongs are longer, aren't they? Hi, Mark. Who's the better CDM, you or Jackmate, says JS Living. Look, I'm not going to sit Jackmate down. The reality is I'm a lot older than him. I didn't play at the weekend because I was asked to commentate, but I did want to play. The standard was good. I will be ready for the next tournament and I will play in the next tournament and we will see what Goldbridge has got. But I'm too old now. I've got to be the Jorginho. I've got to be the conductor. I shield the back four and I run the game. How I run it, I don't know. I haven't played competitively for quite a while. And I am a little bit too old to be playing, really. But you know me, I'll put my money where my mouth is and I will get on that pitch and you can make your own mind up then. But a lot of these lads are a lot younger than me. I wish I was in my mid-20s, but I'm not. With the recent signings and a potential third one, will Ollie now rotate more if players don't deliver, says Axel? He's got to, mate, but I can't tell you whether he will. It isn't just Varane himself that gets me excited, it's the knock-on effect it has on the rest of the team, says John Joe. All I can say, John Joe, is go on the homepage when we end this stream and go to the video that is entitled, I think it says title time, or it's definitely called Why Varane Makes Man United Title Contenders. And the first 20 minutes are golden. Golden. Absolutely golden, because it talks about tactically using our tactics board why United will be so much better and different with Raphael Varane. Or should be. I mean, imagine if Solskjaer goes and picks McFred. It could happen. I've got to be invited to the Sidemen charity game, but I'll definitely play it if I'm asked. Hi, Mark. I'm watching from Bath. Really enjoying the show, says Paul Dixon. I wonder if that's the place Bath or in your bath. I think you might be in the bath, which I don't want to think about, even though I don't know what you look like. Any info, rumour from Ruben Neves, Goretzka, Camavinga and Rice. At least we need CDM on the team. We're going to have to sell to buy Iris. And at the moment, it's very quiet on any midfielder. Because I think we're going to have to sell to buy. And I don't think we're going to raise much money from sales. I really don't. So I'm a little bit worried. But I'm hoping in the next week or two that we will start to see things happening. Look, you've been fantastic. It's been a really long stream. We will be back in the morning. I think everyone deserves a good night's sleep. Maybe you're going to watch Love Island. Maybe we're going to watch a film. If you want any suggestions on films at the moment, Amazon Prime has got Heat, The Town and The Departed, all free on Amazon Prime. Brilliant films. Well worth a watch if you're looking at watching a film. Don't know why I'm dropping that in. Also, if you want to watch my FIFA career mode, it is on Twitch. Episode 1 and 2 are on Twitch right now. Goldbridge TV, couple of hours for you to watch there. The season's up and running. It's been good. It's been interesting already. The old Goldbridge is back with the rants and rages. Goldbridge TV on Twitch. Check out my Twitter feed. It'll be on there as well. Thanks everyone for watching. Well done Manchester United for getting Varane. Big up to the community. Love you all as ever. Stay safe. Take care wherever you are. And I'll see you on the next stream. Thank you very much. Tired but happy.